previous video, we learned how to make our data tables more accessible. Data tables are an essential part of any web app, so let's take things a step further. So as you can see here, we have the same exact table as we had in the previous video, and the same exact markup is behind it. But one thing you'll notice about our current table is we're not making use of any table headers here. For a sighted user, it's really easy to figure out what's a header and what's data, but it's enormously helpful for users that require assistive devices for us to identify exactly what's a header and what's just a data cell. As I mentioned in the previous video, screen readers have a lot of options for reading tables, so the more parsing we can do up front, the more confusion it will save the end user. The TD tags identify data cells, and we have plenty of those, but we should also use TH tags to identify the header cells. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll just go ahead and change this to a TH here, close it, and open these. And New York here should also be a header. And canned and fresh should be a header. And then again, California should be a header. And one more time, canned and fresh should also be headers. So if we go ahead and save that out, switch back to the browser and refresh, you can see that these are now all headers styled by CSS. A screen reader will read this table much more easily with table header tags. When the user wants to read a table cell, the table header can be read off to them as well. Now, as you can imagine, reading out a verbose header could get annoying after a while. If New York or California were much longer titles like New York State or the State of California, it would be even worse. If you have really long headers in your table and you have to have them, you can use the abbreviation attribute, which is interestingly enough denoted as ABBR. So let's go ahead and try that out. So we'll switch back to the code here, and inside our TH, we'll go ahead and add an abbreviation attribute, and we'll just say NY, and we'll do the same for California. We'll abbreviate it to CA. Now, the first time that these headers are encountered, the full name will be read, but after that, the abbreviated versions will be read. This really speeds things up and creates a much better user experience for users that utilize screen readers. Now finally, we can also add T-head, T-body, and T-foot tags. I'll go ahead and add in a T-head and T-body tag, and then I'll explain them. So we'll go up to the top here first, and right after our caption tag, we'll add a T-head, and we'll go ahead and close it right here. So the top part of our table is the T-head, and we'll just indent that there for clarity. Now, in the body of the table, we want to label this T-body, and down just before the closing of our table here, we'll go ahead and close the T-body tag, and we want to, again, indent this for the sake of clarity. So when we switch back to the browser and refresh, you can see that we now have a nice header here that we can style with CSS. Now this is nice for the sake of convenience because you can go ahead and break out the table head and style it, but on a small table like the one we have here, using TH is just fine. T-body, T-head, and T-foot are not required. But on many tables, especially in web applications, there's a lot more data, oftentimes spanning multiple pages. By using T-head and T-foot, you can repeat these sections of the table on multiple pages more easily and provide some additional structure and meaning to the table that can be utilized by assistive devices. Just remember that if you do choose to use T-head or T-foot, you have to use a T-body tag to specify what part of the table is the main body of data. That's it for the basics. By now you should have a better idea of how to make your tables accessible to everyone.